Today's podcast is brought to you by Mountain Mule Transportation, located here in Bozeman, Montana. Mountain Mule is a private SUV and truck service, offering chauffeur services in all of southwest Montana. Whether it's your next skiing, hunting, or fishing trip, early morning or late night trips to and from Bozeman Airport, as well as weddings and private parties. No matter the occasion, Mountain Mule will get you there safely and on time. To learn more, visit mountain-mule.com and book today.
Mi nombre es Elliot Marcille. I've lived in Bozeman for 5 years. 5 years in my latest stint. Originally moved here in 2009. And I'm a pickleball developer.
And we talked about all kinds of things.
Yeah, we were all over the place.
Yeah.
He tricked us into talking more than we usually do as hosts. So
not a
hats
trick.
off to you.
I feel good to get you guys out of your shell a little bit.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can tell that you usually let the guests do the talking.
Yeah. But anyway, it's great getting to know you. Enjoy, folks.
Likewise. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
If I'm not mistaken, the SEC shut down the acquisition a couple of years ago by Adobe. Adobe was going to acquire them for like $20 billion.
What's Figma do?
It's like a workflow software that Fortune 1000 companies use to map out like internal processes.
Okay.
So it's like graphic design, but for companies.
Okay.
It's very easy to use. And so they've blown up. They're doing like $1 billion almost in revenue, in
Okay.
recurring revenue every year.
Is it like Canva at all? Or no?
It's exactly like Canva.
Okay.
Very, very similar to Canva. I think Canva is more towards creators and Figma is more like for businesses.
Mm-hmm.
But there was all this guff around how the stock popped the day that it went public. I think it went up like 200%. And I've heard about it happening before too. So it's very smart that this guy's, not every stock does it. Some of them fall off.
Right.
Sounds like this dude's using AI on the plane, running 4 different engines at the same time.
Yeah, and he was doing all
Legend.
kinds of different things. And anyway, like I was like, man, this guy's on top of this AI stuff. He actually works for a company, and he should be, because he works for an AI company. He works for a company called
And he wants to come to a podcast?
Yeah, I was texting with him. He works for a company called Boodlebox. And Boodlebox takes like 7 or 8 AI platforms and it puts it together into one. Which is kind of what he was doing on his computer, but he was interconnecting like four different ones himself. And so he customized like these 4 for him and then customized them together for each one of them.
And he lives in Bozeman.
Yeah.
And we need more people like that in Bozeman.
So
That's amazing.
it reminds me of Matt. I think Matt Wood is his name. So he owns a company here. It's called Checkmark Automations. And he, like, I don't know the level that he does this, but he essentially gets all your software automated. And he's using stuff like Zapier.
Sure.
And I'm actually meeting with him next week. But I don't know the depth of what he can do, but there's a lot of intelligent things you can do when you start getting all your softwares speaking to each other.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see what he can do for my business. But yeah, like stuff like that it's the future, but the future is now.
Can I order a ride from your business that doesn't have a driver right now?
No.
That's an autonomous
No.
limo experience.
No, but I talk about that all the time, and just that reality's got to be navigated at some point.
The robot arm's just like, can I offer you a mint, sir?
Yeah.
That's going to be in our lifetime for sure, though.
Yeah, and
It's already happening. In like San Francisco, you can get a Waymo,
Yeah.
completely autonomous Uber ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Arizona and Austin as well. There'll be more resistance to it, and it's kind of like, the cab drivers in New York City tried to fight Uber.
Sure,
for a
yeah,
long
because of the
time.
medallions, right? They
Yeah,
paid
yeah.
like their life savings to buy a car. Then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, some bum who's never invested in anything just got a
Some
Toyota
bum.
Sienna.
Yeah,
Not a bum, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Nothing against Uber drivers, but you're not like a 45-year cabbie veteran that knows every
Yeah.
street like the back of your hand.
Yeah, that's true too.
And they're just getting their jobs taken away.
yeah. It's funny to see the gatekeeping of the
Total
and just-
NIMBYism.
Yeah, just wanting. I don't even know what that means, but I'm sure just
Not in my backyard.
Yeah, it's like what
Yeah.
the local folks say. You probably hear it with your development business. Like
Sure.
people are like, "Oh, you can't build this. You
No,
can't
we
build
can
this
build it over there,
pool
but
in
you
my
just can't build it
backyard."
right here.
Yeah, I live in this neighborhood. This is a nice family neighborhood. Don't bring your Uber in my neighborhood. We like cabs in this neighborhood.
I think Uber came to Bozeman in 2016, which was so behind.
Yeah. Yeah, because you couldn't get an Uber when I was in college.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. It was not, I think it was probably like 2015 was the first time I even saw Uber anywhere.
And statistically, Montana has the highest,
That sounds about right.
the highest DWIs per capita.
Classic.
And
Well, you guys probably saw this when we were in college. I'm sure your sister saw it. I never did this, of course, but the biking scene to the bars in Bozeman was classic.
Yeah,
like 2009 to 2013 era. And I heard, as far as the story went, that I always heard, is that it used
Never
to be.
participated in
Of
it.
course not. No. But it used to be legal to bike, to the bar, which makes perfect sense, right? You're riding a bike, go to the bar, tie one off, and then you bike home. And then allegedly they like changed the rules so that it was now illegal to ride your bike to the bar. And so right when I came to college, they had just changed the rules back because I guess what happened is everybody was like, I'm not going to ride my bike to the bar if the penalty's the same. Like I've got heat in my car. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, everybody's driving their car again. They're like, whoa, this is not at all what we intended. So when I moved here in 2009, the rules had just reverted back. And it was like a mob it was like a bike gang to the bars. Like
In the winter too?
Oh yeah. Like tandems in the dark on the ice.
studded bike tires.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Studded was a real nice, like,
Luxury.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you had a studded bike tire, you were
Yeah.
a
What do
king
you,
of the
what do you
streets.
fly first class to?
Yeah, exactly. But but then Ubers came on the scene, and then
Yeah.
I don't know where it stands right now. I'm not biking to the bar these days very much, so I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
I used to always say that, if you probably, like, unless you got a serious drinking problem and you go out to do it all the time, if you tallied up what you'd spend in a lifetime in Ubers, it'd never, like, the cost
Doesn't equal one
Yeah.
DUI.
Oh, yeah.
And like, and that's just the financial cost. There's the emotional cost and the repercussions of not being able to get to work.
Oh, it's a zero. There's zero reason to drink and drive
Yeah.
these days. And it really is like, it's kind of the same thing with, I crashed my truck one time on the ice, have run snow tires ever since. It just didn't occur to me until that point that the only thing touching the road was the tires. So for $800 or whatever it costs to buy a new set of snow tires every couple of years. So, your entire existence rides on you being able to stop in the wintertime. It's a very small price to pay for the insurance, the headache. God forbid you hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think people like think about that. You just have to like look a little bit broader than
That's
the immediate $35 for the Uber.
That's what we call big brain thinking.
It happens in my industry all the time because people will call up and say, "Hey, we're going to Bridger Brewing, or we're going to the old saloon," and I'll be like, "Oh my God, like, $400 for like 6 people," and I'm like, "Yeah, like you do the math, it's really not that much a person, like to get you there and back safely, and everyone's home." And they're like, "Oh no, we can't do that." I'm like, "All right, like, I guess you'll take your chances with like potentially killing everyone
Oh my
and
God
someone
forbid.
else." You know what I mean?
Old Saloon is a flex too. That is quite
Yeah.
a drive to get. I feel like, is this just a masterful setup to just win me as a customer to use the service to go to the Old Saloon to like
That's a
There's a
good-
business
run
card
up
over
there.
there.
There's cards right there.
You're hired. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Because I never go to the Old Saloon, for example, or Pine Creek Lodge. Of course not.
Yeah.
45 minutes or 50 minutes in the dark on the highway at night. Of course, you want to have a beer or two when you're out there. Like, it's just a non sequitur.
And everyone, like, I just went to a show in July, and pretty much everyone turns on Trail Creek. You're like, yeah, they're all hammered.
Yeah, you can see the cars.
Trail Creek is
Is a cutoff.
yeah, and you're going to avoid, passing pretty much any or most law enforcement if you go that way, and go down a windy, terrible dirt road with no cell service.
Classic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad there's a safe option. I can't wait to honestly tell more people about it too, because I need to use those kind of services more. When we're going, for example, next week to Shaky Graves.
Okay.
I can't wait. I feel so lucky. We were talking about the stuff that's coming to Bozeman, and like one of the advantages of having Bozeman get bigger is the music scene. Shaky Graves coming to Bozeman. Come on. I mean, it's amazing, but it's like 45 minutes to get out there.
Where are you going?
It's the Bridger Brewing in Three Forks.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah. So if you have any availability,
Yeah.
Well, actually, that on that same topic, people are camping out at Bridger Brewing and spending the night because you can
you
camp out there. So that's awesome.
Hold that Uber, actually.
Yeah.
I started.
No, I'm just kidding.
I started working with them. Like, so
Really?
we're like partnering with them.
That's amazing.
Yeah, to be able to offer.
They have a shuttle, right? Is that you?
Potentially, like, I know that they. I don't think they have their own shuttle, but like
Okay.
We're one of the partners that works with them. They may have other companies
Killer.
too. Yeah.
So smart.
Yeah.
It's so smart. The only limiting factor from my perspective, because I went to Dave Matthews actually last week too, and I bought shuttle tickets. Couldn't use the shuttle tickets because it was so specific. The specific time that the shuttle had to leave didn't work. It was like 3:45 in the afternoon. Only came back at 11:30 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I paid, what is it, $200 for the shuttle tickets for my wife and I. Happy to do it. I mean, small price to pay for the peace of mind. But just ended up driving, not drinking any beers when we were up there. Still had an amazing time, but the Bridger Brewing shuttle, if I'm not mistaken, leaves only from Bridger Brewing, which is one very specific corner of town. A couple other drop-off points.
Yeah, like and probably the ultimate way to hack it, like, which is funny that I'm saying that because I'm in the industry. But the best value, it's luxury transportation, so it's priced accordingly. But the best value is if you do a 14 passenger van and you have 14 people.
Nice.
Because then you split it, and it really doesn't come out to much a person. But if you were to take that scheduled shuttle up and just have us pick you up for the return, that's probably where you'd get like the best price value if that's what you're looking for. But
that's awesome.
You could do like out and back for under $100 a person with the 14 passenger van.
That's amazing.
So it's a great value, really.
And I'm looking forward to setting that up.
Actually is a really good deal because you couldn't get an Uber out and there back for $100.
Yeah, and you have like you'll be in a air conditioned all leather, and your driver will be waiting there. So whenever you guys are ready, like
this was a setup for the.
But if you want to camp out there, you can just camp inside the 14 passenger van.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and pay the hourly rate for the driver and van to wait there.
It had been a little while since I camped in a tent, and this weekend, but I'm sure you guys are on the same line of thinking, but big this year on saying yes to friends weekends, basically.
Okay.
With, busy life, running a business. My wife's an entrepreneur too. We've got twins that are 3 years old.
Oh, wow, cool.
A lot going on right
Congrats,
now.
man.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, it's awesome, but it's, as you can imagine, it's easy to say there's something else more important than going to hang out with your buddies for a weekend and wherever. But it's an amazing getaway every time I do it. And I've had 2 in the last couple of months. And this weekend I was up in Northwest Montana in outside of Holland Lake. No cell service, just a ranch. Slept in the tent. Could not have been a better time. Shot every gun you could possibly shoot. 44 Magnum cowboy gun, BB gun. We were fishing. It was just an unbelievable time. So
that's awesome.
Anyway, big on tents.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's great. I slept in a tent.
Yeah, what was the last tent experience?
Oh, not very long ago. I don't know, 6 weeks ago, less than that. Man, I slept so good.
You do.
Oh my God.
You do.
I slept like it was unreal. I woke up and I was like, I am a different person.
Yeah, and waking up and looking outside, being outside, feeling the sun on your face in the morning. Where were you camping?
His backyard.
Up Mill Creek.
Nice. Oh, up Mill Creek.
Yeah. Mill Creek up.
The shuttle had already left Pine Creek Lodge for the night. So
I was like, well, I guess I got to go up Mill Creek then.
Nice.
No, I guess it was 4th of July weekend.
Were you deep in Mill Creek?
Yeah, pretty far back there, yeah.
I actually bought a refrigerator back there. As far up on the mountain as you could go. It's an unbelievable spot to buy a commercial refrigerator. Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
It was so sketchy. It was like this person's house, deep up that road, and then you're in a canyon, and then I started driving four-wheel drive road, single lane road, driving up the side road. Met these guys, followed him in like old Chico, followed him back up there with my trailer and my truck. It was like almost too steep to drive up the truck up the road. Pull up to this like goat compound on the top of this mountain where the guy's mom lives, and she lives up there. There's people that live like where you were camping that every single day. That's where they commute home from wherever they work every day. Wintertime, driving up those roads. Hardy people.
Yeah, I mean,
back
you're
in Mill
hardy.
Creek.
You're hardy to go get a refrigerator back there.
I wasn't sure I was coming back, honestly. Like, I dropped the coordinates to my wife. Like, hey, this is where I'm going. If it's not, if you don't hear from me for a couple hours.
You got it?
Oh, yeah.
How's the refrigerator?
Beautiful.
Nice.
It's humming.
Cool. What kind?
Like a real loud, noticeable home.
No, yeah, exactly. No, it's like a real. The weirdest thing is it's like a real commercial. Like this refrigerator would have been like $15,000.
Why did you need that?
I was buying it for the pickleball gym.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So, $15,000 refrigerator, if you can get it for a little bit less than that, I was all over it. Obviously, it's a pretty high standard, so I was looking for something very specific. But I bought this incredible thing's enormous. Like, took a full trailer just to haul it out. And
I guess you did say you had a trailer. So
yeah, it was this person's home refrigerator.
Yeah.
It was that just made it even weirder that they had this massive refrigerator up there on the mountain.
Well, they got a deal on it too.
I don't know. I honestly
don't
don't know.
Our buddy Rick.
I didn't ask too many questions. It was one of those like don't ask too many questions type of.
Hey, it's a cash deal.
It's all a cash deal. I told him I was bringing it back though if it didn't work, and I would have too.
Our buddy Rick has come up with this good saying: "A guy can go broke getting a good deal."
For sure.
And so
I believe that.
You can keep buying good deals and lose all your money.
I 100% believe that. There's some things that you want to pay the lowest possible price on, and there's some things that you almost want to pay like the top possible price on. Mm-hmm. This was maybe somewhere in the middle.
There you go.
Yeah, I texted Rick last weekend to ask him what that saying was because I was talking to some people.
So how'd you guys, if you don't mind me like pivoting, how did you guys get the idea to start this podcast? Because if based off of the beta that I've gotten, you worked in construction, or you work in construction, do some development. You're an entrepreneur. And so you guys obviously became friends, but how did it turn into, and what's kind of like your values? Like, what's like the guiding values of the podcast? And like, what do you like to learn about your guests, for example?
It's a great question.
You want to tell them the love story?
The love story?
I don't know. He was asking how we met, I guess. And how we started this podcast.
I'll tell you this, but I've only realized this in hindsight now.
Yeah.
So I was Uber driving on the side, kind of as a laugh. And I started doing it in Washington. I was working in construction there, and I was bored on the weekend. I didn't know this new town I was in. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to Uber drive and do this to kind of discover this town.
What was the town that you were in?
It was Bainbridge Island. So it's
the home of pickleball, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really? That's so funny because one of the guys, so this was in 2018, 19. This guy I was working with, he's like, I really want to build this pickleball court. And I'm just like, what the hell is like pickleball? What the hell is he talking about? And like, I always remembered him talking about it though. And I don't think it had taken off like it has now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. So I started doing it on the side, and then I've always been in love with Montana and Bozeman. I knew the area. My sister got married out here, moved here, and I was like, I'm just gonna move to Bozeman. I'll start driving. But for some reason I had the idea for this company before I even moved here.
Your current business.
Yeah. And so I started driving. I was working on a farm driving, built the company, and I've now just realized in the last year or two what I loved about the Uber driving the company was talking to the people. Because I built these really cool relationships just with passengers.
That's a great story.
It's how mine and Kyle's friendship started, literally from us shooting the shit. And I'm like, I've only realized this like in the last 6 months or a year. There's something about the intimate setting of just being in a car, being in a studio like this, and I get to know people on a deeper level, and then I, build these real relationships and friendships. And then this, as the company's grown and I've had people driving more, I've been driving less. Like, I feel like this was me like, man, I still got to find a way to talk to people, and connect to people. And then I don't know what your perspective on it, but me and him had also said, there's a relatively famous podcaster, and he said, if you just sit down with one of your friends and record yourselves talking, it'll really improve your speech. And I think being a business owner, wanting to improve, be more articulate the way I speak, that was another cool excuse. But I think on a deeper level, I really wanted to kind of create this environment. And I don't know, what do you like? Where do you fit into that? Because you're doing this with me too.
Yeah. I think for me, and if I can speak for you, I think like it started.
I speak for me. Come on, bro.
It started a few years ago where I think we both just wanted to communicate better, and I think we realized that is there anything more important in life than direct, proper, and also like accurate communication? So I think we started with, we were on our way to a concert in Missoula.
Oh, I remember that.
And we just started recording ourselves. So we like put the iPhone on record, and we just started talking, and we just had a conversation like we normally would. And you go back and listen to that, and you're like, man, that's not what I meant, but I said that. But that's like I didn't mean that, and that still happens all the time, but it happens less. So I just wanted to work on my communication. Also, I think connections are, right up there, or if not even more important. Like right now, it's happening right now with you, right? Where like you walked in the room and like there's this energy in the room that wasn't here with him and I, and I'm like, man, this guy's awesome. This is refreshing to talk with you. Yeah, and so like
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I'm so sick of just sitting here with Kyle. This is boring as
We
hell.
need
This
some new
is
energy.
so
in this
boring.
room.
so yeah, and
No, in all seriousness, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and every person we've talked to, whether we've actually like we've done our parents, we've done my brothers, and so you think you know the person, and you don't know them. Like I found out some stuff about my parents and my brothers that like I didn't know.
I almost brought my dad. I just on the spot was going to get him on here. I'm not even kidding. I didn't think it was appropriate to do that, but not for that exact reason, but that's so insightful too.
Yeah. So I every time somebody comes on here, I learn something really valuable that I didn't think I was going to. And so that's really cool too.
Wow. Unreal. So if I heard you correctly, not only did you want to improve, or just talk to people more, you felt like your articulation and your enunciation could be improved. And you, if I heard you correctly, you listened to that recording that you guys did when you were driving to the concert in Missoula, and you felt like there were some things that you minced your words on, or you didn't, it came off different than you expected. That is rich. That is really like a rich insight. And I'm guilty of poor communication, even priding myself on being a good communicator, so guilty of saying the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
Comes out one way. It's not what you expected. The other person would react that way, and you're kind of doing the play-by-play, the post-op, and you're like, oh shit, that's not actually that is not at all what I meant to say.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's just one word. Like you use the wrong word in the wrong context.
Or not using a word at all. You should say something. You thought it was going to be captured in your tone. But I love also just hearing about the people that are special to you in your life that you obviously, but there's parts of them that you would never get into conversation with. This is almost like Yeah,
you have any brothers and sisters?
I do, yeah. I have a younger brother and a younger sister. Grace is a 4th grade teacher in Portland, inner city. She's a hero, honestly. She was the inspiration for our hero membership at the pickleball gym. My brother Luke is awesome. Also went to MSU. He works at Nordstrom's doing men's sales in Portland. Just a style dog. Just a stylish guy.
Cool. Yeah, so I think, you think your brother, and your sister, or you even like, you think like, oh, that's what their job is like, or that's what their career is like, that's what their coworkers are like. And then you sit down for a podcast, and you're like, man, I never knew you were doing that at work, or I never knew that was happening. And there's so much detail that you miss out on people's lives that you think and how would you have all that context? You can't. But in a long form podcast, you get to learn things about people that you think you know a lot about, and you don't.
Really inspiring. That's impressive that you guys, it's a mature, out of your comfort zone kind of thing too, to come at it with that type of, maybe that's just organically what happens. Maybe that's not like the goal of every podcast, but that's pretty cool that's, the magic behind the scenes is you're going to get that deeper connection with somebody special in your life. That's amazing.
It definitely was not like something we had thought of. It was not something we were expecting.
It's like an unintended consequence.
Yeah. But it's, you have an idea of who somebody is and how their life is, but you really don't have much of an idea of what their internal life is in their head. And they kind of express that. And it's funny, as my mother said, she's done it, God bless her, because she was the first guest we ever had on. And she's done it a couple of times, but she said, I could show up 2 days later and be in a totally different state of mind and a different mood and be a different person in a lot of ways. And that, I think we all feel that, you could just be having a bad day and somebody said the wrong thing to you and you might have
Yep.
snapped at them and you might be like, I might know you as one of the most reasonable and charismatic guys. And like that person that had that one interaction with you might
Yeah.
think you're just a complete dick.
I try to keep those interactions to a minimum, but they definitely happen.
Yeah.
Especially in a customer service role where
Yeah.
you're dealing with just an insane volume of people.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder, honestly, that any one of those interactions could be the only, or definitely the first impression with somebody. And as much as you think this is, customer interaction 104 of the day or whatever, for them, it's the only one that matters.
Yeah. I've definitely in business, like I've just bit my tongue off so many times. I'm like, this
Right.
could be like a giant public thing,
Yeah.
depending on how I react to this.
Totally. Or you do something, not unethical, but you do something that you're pushing hard for sale, or you're doing something that's like maybe on the border of like overly aggressive of normal business interaction.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that lesson the hard way working in sales when I started my career at Oracle, pushing hard to sell software to these businesses. And I ended up having dozens and dozens of customers all over the world, traveled all over the place. Some of my customers then have now built some of the most like prolific companies and are now executives of like major companies. And I see them, I'm connected with them, and not all of them did I have like amazingly rosy interactions with.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing you get though when you put like a 24-year-old in the driver's seat on like an executive negotiation and you're giving them commission on like a contract. Like, of course you're going to get some you're going to ruffle some feathers, but it's just crazy. You end up seeing people in life over and over and over again you would never expect.
Yeah. You never hindsight's 20/20.
Right?
Yeah. So you just like, oh shit, that's where you ended up? Or
Yeah.
isn't that funny? Like for better or worse, but I think life's always giving you reminders of how you displayed your character for better or worse down the road.
It's a mirror.
I've been talking to my brother. We just spent like a week together in North Carolina, and we were joking that it was like game 7, every day. We're running, and I see you've got the rut hat on. You like to pound some pavement, I'm assuming.
I'd rather be on the trail, but
Yeah.
I run on the streets too.
So, you could always end up quitting early or not going today, or I just had dinner. I don't need to go after dinner. Like my stomach might hurt or whatever. But we were joking when we were in North Carolina about game 7 and I was like, man, honestly, as an entrepreneur, every day is game 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been trying to think about that now. Like it's come up over and over again in my mind that like, how would I do this if today was game 7?
Mm-hmm.
How would I operate today if today was game 7? And like, if you live every day like that, if you interact with every single customer like that, I mean, amazing things could happen.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
So you said your twins are 3.
Correct.
How long ago did you start this pickleball venture?
Oh, well, it's
At least like the business here.
yeah,
or entrepreneurship, I'll say.
the pickleball business I started in 2024.
Okay.
So I think I did the fastest development in the history of Bozeman. Like I'm going to claim it. I took possession of my building on October 1st, and we had our first pickleball event on November 2nd. So the building had holes in the roof, the floor, the walls. It was not up to fire code. There was no electricity, no running water.
We'll edit this out if you need us to.
Yeah, no. It doesn't have any. Now all of that has been repaired,
Mm-hmm.
but that was what we did in 30 days. But, the reason I was able to move fast on this venture overall, and it wasn't that much before that I actually started looking into getting the structure and everything and underwriting the development of the building and, of course, getting our insurance and all the materials and the subcontractors and everything lined up. But the software and the hardware, which are big components of the business. But it was really like a 5-year journey to get to this point of looking for a business to buy in Bozeman, really. And I underwrote hundreds of deals, commercial real estate deals and business deals, literally modeling them out, making most of my models from scratch.
Did you run to wrote them yourself?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was looking for something to buy, and I couldn't find anything I loved the price of. It wasn't anything.
Are
you talking about just real estate?
I mean, joking, but in all seriousness, like,
well, it makes sense. It's like, it makes sense in the timing that you're talking about from like basically 2019 to 2024.
bad time to be a buyer. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you don't want to buy anything because everything's going up and up and up and up and up. but also like a good time to be a buyer. Like everything's going up and up and up and up and up. But you're also worried about like, shit, when's this shit coming down?
Well, I was really interested in businesses. I was more interested in cash flowing small businesses. And Montana is not the biggest market to begin with for businesses. You know, we've only got like 1.2 million people maybe in the entire state. So if you look at a market like Montana compared to a market like Chicago, where I lived before this, all of the businesses, well, first off, nobody wants to sell their good businesses. Second off, if the businesses are for sale, which there are some good ones that are for sale, it's going to be a much smaller pool of businesses that are for sale. And then from there, you're really going to weed out the vast majority of them with just like a back of the napkin underwriting. Okay, this business is cash flowing this amount this year. The purchase price that they're asking is this high. You know, if it seems like an order of magnitude off, I'm probably going to it's not even worth my time to negotiate. If it's close, get into conversation with the broker or with the seller oftentimes. And some of them I took almost to the finish line. But it got to the point where I'm like, man, I need to broaden my horizons to looking not just in Bozeman, but also in Billings, Helena, Whitefish, Kalispell. Never really looked in Missoula, but I also started to look at commercial real estate deals too. Self-storage facilities, warehouses, hotels, resorts, all kinds of random stuff, ground up development land. And at the end of the day, there was only a small handful of deals that I was really excited about. There was a credit services, like a collection business I was excited about, a legal services business. And I actually went into escrow on a self-storage facility as well. And as well as a couple of commercial landscaping businesses that I almost bought. But had to kill everything at the finish line for various reasons. And it was ultimately a price discipline thing. So I couldn't find anything that I loved to buy.
What do you mean by that price discipline thing?
Well, so I've got my perspective on how much I'm willing to pay, right? And it's informed on the economics of the business. So for example, how sticky is the revenue? Like, is it going to stick around for multiple years? Is this a cyclical thing where if the economy doesn't do well and people stop moving to Bozeman for remote work, for example, is the business going to underperform compared to historical financials? Is this a growing market? You know, just because the business is doing well here, like, is there some macroeconomic factor that's going to cause the business to no longer have steam? Like, is this a horse-drawn buggy limo
if you're an
service?
Uber driver, like Waymo's coming,
right? Yeah. Like, is this like a steam-powered car parts company? And all of a sudden there's like another kind of car technology that's coming up that's powered by gas. And you're like, I don't know if this is like such a good business to buy. So just kind of evaluating all these factors. How much customer concentration is there? You know, what percentage of the revenue does the largest customer control as a percentage of the total?
Do you follow much Alex Hormozy?
I do. I'm a huge fan of Alex Hormozy, although I haven't like bought his courses or read his $100 million offers book or anything like that. Have you?
I went to one of his his scaling workshops.
No
in
way.
Vegas. Yeah.
How was that?
It's very cool. Very, very insightful.
I bet.
Yeah. Like
he's a G. He's a certified G.
Yeah. And I was just saying, like, I talk to you about this kind of stuff all day because in the last year or two, and I've been in this business is just over 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed. Everything like in my day, I just look at everything. I'm like, man, I wonder the economics of that. I wonder the economics of that.
Yeah.
Like my mind's just, I see it in everything.
Yeah.
But like it sounds like you were very thorough and disciplined on your process, which
absolutely thorough, very, very disciplined. And ultimately it's a risk aversion thing.
Yeah.
You know, my wife is an entrepreneur. She started her interior design firm when we moved here in 2020.
Okay.
So I was, you know, I've worked for some startups. I was kind of the steady Eddie corporate worker. Worked for NetSuite, which was acquired by Oracle, for 5 years. Before that, I worked in chemicals for a couple of years out of undergrad. And then I worked for some startups, first as a VP of sales, and then I got into partnerships and strategic business development, where you're doing like integrations between softwares, and you're building software between two different companies, and you're trying to find customers together. So like a good corporate, you know, there's a role for me in like corporate America. And so I was pretty risk averse to doing some crazy deal where I'm buying a small business and spending a bunch of money that the business is going to lose, basically. So maybe there was some deals that I could have done where if I had gotten comfortable with some of these, you know, characteristics, or like they say like every deal has hair on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like perfect business. Like every business is going to have some sort of like risk or beta, but, I just couldn't get comfortable with having a nut with, I don't like them hairy. So
Yeah.
I was looking at the characteristics that got me really excited, actually. And I started thinking, well, if I can't find something that I could buy, here are the things that get me really excited about a business that I would be looking for as a buyer. What are some businesses that I could potentially start that have those characteristics?
The question I was going to ask you, I think when you started talking about this was, so you started this prior to having your kids, or now that you have kids, how much has that like game 7 mentality changed?
Oh, game 7. It's game 7 every night at bedtime, in the middle of the night, 2:30 in the morning when they're crying.
Mm-hmm.
When it's game 7, you get up and you take them to the potty.
But have you adopted that mentality since you have the kids, or has that always been a mentality?
You know what? That's a really, there's a bit of a tension between the game 7 professionally, like the lock-in, Alex Hormozy, like, put my nose strip on and just like get grinding on
Never, no kids, no dog, no windows in my office. Like
exactly,
yeah.
like straight from breakfast, like straight from bed to the computer, at like
Put
4:30.
2 nose straps on.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's right. Nelly put his a little to the right, but it's the exact same thing. But yeah, when you've got kids, it's all about being sensitive, being unscripted. Do you guys have kids?
No.
So it's just all about empathy. You're being empathetic. You're being there with them. I know for a fact this is fleeting. Like every bone in my body pulls me to check my email, take this call, get on the computer, like pay the nanny an extra hour to be at the house. It's really like the game 7 is not appropriate with the kids.
Yeah.
It's
I didn't know
really
if the
different.
I guess essentially what I was asking is the game 7 because of the kids. Because like I want to do everything for these kids.
Well, that's a great point, and that's absolutely true. That's accurate. Like when you're working, the time that the kids are at daycare or whatever, like it's go time.
Yeah.
No prisoners today.
I'll show you this video when we get done if you remember, because it's just showing Kyle this like a few minutes before he walked in, but it was just a YouTube short, but
Yeah.
it's like very similar to this. That's why I was just curious to ask.
Yeah, no, it's really motivating to have kids. I mean, my parents are here right now, and it's really important to me. My parents are amazing. Like the reason I am who I am, this outgoing, energetic, fun-loving person, it's because of my parents. It's not because of them making me this way. It's because of the opportunities that I was afforded by them working so hard. I don't know how they afforded to pay for tennis lessons for me. Private tennis lessons. We lived in a small town in North Carolina. Like my mom didn't work for several of the years that I was growing up. When she did get a job, she took a job working as a guardian ad litem, which is where you're an advocate for like abused kids, and you go to the court. It's like basically a volunteer job.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was an engineer. He was making like $50,000 a year, which is good money living in rural North Carolina in the 90s. But I went to private school when I was in fifth grade. I went to Catholic school. And my classmates were all rolling up in Escalades and Tahoes and Land Rovers and stuff. And I remember seeing the stickers on their windows for the country club Landfall that all of them had houses at. If you're a real baller, there'd be 3 stickers for the 3 different country clubs, for the gate, like the member privileges. We didn't have that. And, so it kind of created a chip on my shoulder, but it was because of my parents working so hard and giving me the I don't know, just like love and support, to be this, like creating a safe, healthy, understanding. I don't know. It's just like, it's you either have it if you don't, I think. You have this like supportive upbringing or you don't. And that really is what I'm trying to create for my kids, even more so than what I have, than what I had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I could speak for my mother, and I mean, Kyle, you might agree with this too, but like after interviewing, we interviewed my mother, Kyle, we interviewed both of Kyle's parents. You really start to understand kind of what it was like and what they were doing just to give you like the best odds.
Totally.
Like, given the circumstances, good or bad, but you're like, you don't think about that shit when you're a kid.
They're not giving daycare away for free.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like I mean, would you agree with that? Like,
oh yeah, it's crazy what my parents did. It's unreal.
Those little peanut butter bars are like $3 a bar,
and they eat a bunch of them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
their game 7 is trying to eat as many of them as they can.
Right.
Actually, it's game 7 for them every day when it comes to snacks.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And scootering too. My kids are like, let's go scooter. It doesn't matter what time. Like, it's game 7. Get the scooter out right now.
Yeah. That's
Let's
cool.
go.
What's the mix up? Boy, girl, girls, boys.
Boy, girl.
Nice.
Yeah, boy, girl. Yeah, we really hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
Feel really lucky.
That's very cool.
Do you guys want to have kids in the future?
Yeah.
As much as you feel comfortable sharing,
Yeah.
of course.
No, I'm engaged now, and it's like
Congrats,
on the
man.
horizon. Thank you.
What's your fiance up to?
She's an entrepreneur as well.
Nice.
She's got a brand strategy company.
Oh my gosh, you guys are in it.
Yeah. So like we went to Alex Hormozy together.
No way. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So you had a good experience there?
Yeah. Very like, yeah, I just like my concept of the way I look at businesses now is like forever changed. And like they gave us a lot of, like one-on-one advice too. And it was just very, very helpful.
It's like $5,000, right? It's like not free to go to those things.
Yeah. No, it was
It's $5,000 a person.
Yeah. It was an investment, but like in my kind of where I was with the business and stuff I was figuring out, I was like, I want to do this. There's answers I'm looking for. And I look at it now and kind of laugh in hindsight. I'm like, business is pretty black and white in a lot of ways. Like
It is.
like numbers don't lie.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're either building something that makes money or doesn't.
Yeah.
And you're building something ideally that makes money that somebody would want to buy.
Yeah.
Or you're not. There's so many people that are building businesses that nobody will ever buy. And it's a choice, basically. Like, they're choosing what game they're going to play when they decide to start that business, knowing that it's not something that they could probably ever sell. They probably don't even know that.
And it's interesting. One of like my big takeaways was you want it, whether you want to keep your business forever indefinitely or you want to sell it, you want to have it to a place where it's really, it's really desirable business to buy.
Yeah.
And it's essentially as soon as you get there is probably when you won't want to sell it anymore.
Yeah, of course.
And why would you? Because now it's a smooth running machine producing money.
What a luxury to be in that position where you've got a business that is so valuable that you wouldn't want to sell it and that's making you enough money that somebody would want to buy it.
Yeah. And that was that's a big part of his origin story is, this, like, I want to sell this business. This is driving me crazy. Oh my God, I can't sell this. I'm not even making any money. Let me just like turn everything on its head and get everything, understand my numbers. And now this thing flows and it doesn't need me. And I got my systems in place and it's making money. I don't want to sell this anymore. Like, which is ironic.
I didn't know that about him, that he had a business that wasn't really saleable.
Yeah. It sounds like kind of several. He's got a lot of like different business stories. It's very interesting.
You hear about entrepreneurs all the time that have a successful business, but that they try to start another business and it doesn't go as smoothly.
Well, that's one of his biggest things in my takeaways is he loves the Matrix. So he's calling it the girl in the red dress.
Okay.
But you can look at every other business and say like, oh man, like if I got into that would be so easy. And like the reality is, as you just said, that's why I kind of asked if you know his stuff.
Yeah.
Is, everything's hairy. Everything's got its pitfalls.
Nobody just gives you money.
Yeah.
No business just prints money.
And there are some models that are better than
There's
others.
for sure
like,
better businesses than
yeah,
others.
just given the time and like, technology, but
yeah.
And I'm so guilty of this. And it's funny because I was so close to doing this too, was essentially starting a second business that would complement this one. And then realizing that's going to pull 50% of me away from my company.
Totally.
And like, how do I think my business could run with 50% of my capacity when it's a good workload now for it to run?
Yeah, no, you get way better results from compounding into your winners than you do from diversifying into something else. And we're not good multitaskers too. Me being the worst of all of them. Like multitasking, not as easy as it seems on the surface. And you're definitely pulling your energy away from whatever it was that you were doing before. You got that, snowboard video going in the background while you're working.
Yeah.
Probably not doing as well with the work as you'd think that you were doing. I'm guilty. I'm always listening.
So that's like game 5.
That's game 5 thinking. Yeah. I mean,
spring training.
Yeah. More like the NL like DS or NL, maybe even like the NLDS. Not even close to the finals if you're playing, but I'm usually listening to music.
I'm just glad that you're using baseball references because you're speaking my language.
Oh yeah, I love baseball.
Yeah.
Wish we had we were just talking today about when are we going to get the first pro sports team in Montana. I'm thinking it's going to be a pro pickleball team.
There we go.
I think the likelihood is like probably much higher than like football. Like football, I guess would probably football or hockey.
You need to have I was talking
We
about
just
that
don't
about-
have the. We just don't have the people.
you don't have the people to
Yeah.
fill up a stadium.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
my-
if the entire city went, we'd
yeah.
almost fill up a stadium.
Yeah, last night was the Eagles' first preseason game. There's like 70,000 people that go to the stadium.
Mhm.
There's like 6 million people that live in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We don't have, like, if we built a pro stadium here, would need to have like that many people. Like, we couldn't fill it up.
Right.
There's a guy up in Big Sky that wants to. He wants a baseball field up there
Really?
because his kids go to school.
Pro
up there.
baseball team in Big Sky?
No, he just wants one for the high school.
That's like the most Big Sky thing ever.
What's that? Oh, pro baseball team.
No,
Yeah.
no, building like a
Yeah.
dedicated.
For like 6 weeks. Of,
Yeah. Like, I have a couple customers that have their own super sick pickleball courts,
You're like,
indoor
hey
pickleball
man, like,
courts
why
at
don't we
their
get
house.
a car wash first in Big Sky?
Yeah. Yeah, or like
An oil change. Fucking
yeah, or like a
shop.
restaurant that's like open to the public.
In his defense, his kids go to school there. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. He's
No, there's good
it's for
there's
the
good
kids,
people in
Kyle.
Big Sky.
Yeah.
There's good people in Big. When I was in college, I actually worked for a landscape construction company in Big Sky, and it was an awesome experience. Like going into Yellowstone Club through the back door, not the member entrance.
Yeah.
You know, digging holes in the dirt in Big Sky. Didn't like country music. I remember the first day I pulled up. I honestly didn't know what kind of job I was getting into. They came into my class at MSU. We're looking for summer hires, and I always worked. Always worked when I was in high school. Always worked when I was in college. Had multiple jobs. Usually, I worked for Monster Energy the entire time I was in college, and did this as the marketing rep. But thought, had an interview with them. Handshake deal that I got the job as their intern, basically first hire. Super excited, help them start this small business. They're like, all right, we'll meet you tomorrow morning at the Conoco in Four Corners, and be there at 6:50 or whatever in the parking lot. They pull up in the the dually flatbed with the trailer, get into the back seat. It's all filled up with tools. It's super cold, possibly even snowing, middle of summer in Montana. And they turn around in the back seat and like the DeWalt job site boom boxes in the back seat. And they're like, you like country music, right? And it was like not a question, like a rhetorical type of statement.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah. Did not like country music when I moved to Bozeman. So I work at the job site every day, and literally it's like,
You're like, hell yeah, Taylor Swift.
yeah, I mean, that's not the kind of country we were listening to.
I know,
Although,
I'm just messing
Why You
around.
Gotta Be So Mean was just getting big on the radio
Yeah.
at that time. So we're just blasting country music at the job site every day. And, I'm digging, my wrists are all swollen. And I'm like, really? Kind of like, next thing you know, I'm just kind of like, man, they're talking about me in this song. Like drinking beers at the gas station and stuff after work. You're like, this is pretty much like about what our life really is. Like,
Yeah.
Have you ever, Shane Gillis, the comedian?
yeah.
Have you ever seen his bit when he's like, yeah, country music's like, they're always just kind of talking about what you're doing right now. They're like,
No, I have not seen that.
They're
That's
like- he's
hilarious.
turn the radio up. I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm turning the radio up. I open a beer. He's like, yeah, I'll open a beer. Okay, I was going to do that anyway. He's like, it's pretty much just what you're doing right now
Yeah.
is what the song is about.
100%.
Very funny.
That's hilarious.
That was for the club, or that was a company just working? in
No,
the
no,
club?
not for the club.
Yeah.
Not for the club. I was not allowed to go into any like Yellowstone Club facilities or anything like
Yeah.
that. That was just where we were doing these jobs.
Yeah.
But it was just a crazy perspective on, that was my first perspective on like what was going on in Big Sky.
Yeah, it's that the club is wild. It's just like another world.
It is.
Yeah.
And there's now, it's so much bigger than the club now. It's Moonlight Basin, Spanish Peaks, now with like the Crazy Mountain Ranch. And then there's all the other ranches all over, Rock Creek Cattle Company. There's the one that's going in Flathead Lake.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
You guys probably do work up there. I mean, what I would love to learn about your development business too. Like what is it that you're doing when you're doing?
Me too. I just changed jobs about 6 months ago. And
Congrats, man.
Thank you. I'm working for a nationwide real estate developer. Primarily, the company is known for doing like large industrial
Okay.
developments. We just started an arm of the business building data centers.
No way.
Yeah.
Long on data centers.
Yeah, I think that's a good business to be in for a while.
Excellent. Excellent spot for a commercial real estate investment right now.
Yeah,
How did you join
that's what
that?
everybody thinks.
How'd you get into that business?
I met these guys. What year is it? 2025. I met them about 7 years ago.
What year is it?
Yeah, fucking what year is it? I've been working like a dog. I met him about 7 years ago building warehouses for Amazon all over the country.
Okay.
And so they were a real estate developer that would like either own the building and rent it to Amazon.
Yeah.
Or they would, no, but I'll have a LaCroix though. You want a beer, LaCroix, water?
Yeah, I'll do a beer. Thank you so much for offering.
So they would either own the building, rent it to Amazon, and own it for 25, 30 years or something and sign a lease, or they would build the building and sell it to somebody who wants to own it, like a real estate investment trust, like a bank, like a hedge fund, like a private equity firm that would own the building, and they want to own that asset and make returns on the money over 20 years or so. And so I met the guys that I work for now, and I did a bunch of jobs with them. And so, yeah, about a year ago, we started talking, and they started this data center business, and they were like, "Hey, why don't you come help us get this thing off the ground?" And so I was like, "All right, that sounds great.
Awesome,
let's
Kyle.
go."
So you were doing construction for these Amazon type warehouses, large scale, small bay industrial.
Yeah, we were building,
or not even small bay. Amazon takes down like 800,000 square foot spaces. If I'm not, I've actually toured a couple of large Amazon facilities before.
Yeah, I've worked on stuff. Anything, I guess the smallest building that I worked on was maybe like 55,000 square feet. All the way up to 2.8 million square feet.
Damn. Multi-floor?
Yeah.
Multi-story?
4 stories.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So how do you find a buyer for a building like that? Like, does it happen before the building's even done?
A lot of times, yeah.
And they trade for nuts cap rates too, right? If I'm not mistaken, like compared to a similar comparable tenant, they're gonna the cap rate on that property is gonna be much lower, right? It's gonna trade for a severe premium compared to any other tenant that's in that.
I mean, Amazon's a good tenant to have, right? And the lease is like negotiated from day one, and so you have locked in rates over 15, 20, 25 year period, depending on how long the lease is. And then then you obviously have the appreciation of what the land and the building's worth over time.
That's just the extra juice on the property though.
Yeah, so I think the buyers in general have a lot of those projects have done really, really well. A lot of them got burned.
Really?
Right. Well, yeah, because when did you buy? Right? Did you buy in 2022? Did you buy in 2024?
Wow.
When
so
did you buy, right?
They're
so like
factoring in appreciation.
A lot of them are upside down by a point and a half.
Why would you not just base it on pure cash flow alone though from the lease?
What do you mean by that?
Like if you're a commercial, this is part of the reason why I had so much trouble finding a space for our pickleball business to start off with, and why it took so long for us to find land for our next site too, which I closed on last Friday.
Congrats, man.
Thank you very much.
What did you close on last Friday?
I bought a couple acres in Bozeman for the next long-term home of our business.
Awesome.
Long-term home of indoor
Are you just
recreation?
Are you leasing right now?
Leasing it right now, yeah.
Okay.
But it was impossible even to find the space that I'm in right now because of how difficult it is to underwrite the price per square foot of commercial real estate is everything. And it would be, I could not imagine taking down a 2 million square foot building that doesn't cash flow from day one, or, that you don't have a healthy buffer built in there. It's just impossible for me to imagine.
And not to like totally sidetrack, but that's what you realize. And I've realized more and more businesses, and mine's guilty of this to an extent, like learning more from Alex Hormozy, how many businesses just are not making money. Like it's like 80%.
No.
Yeah. Like I've been going on and on about this book, Profit First. I don't know if you've,
no,
it's, if you haven't read it, like definitely check it
I
out.
recommend it.
Yeah. But it and he's just given like numbers of like, you'd be surprised how many massive corporations and businesses are like a month or two away, like a bad month or two away from bankruptcy.
Insolvency.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll say this. So this isn't something that I was thinking about back in 2018. So in 2018, I lived in San Diego,
Okay.
and I guess it was maybe at this time. This was like 2017, but whatever. It's close to that time. I was living in San Diego, and I was working for a large construction company. And we at the time we were like one of the biggest builders in the state of California.
Wow.
We were the top revenue producing builder in the whole state. And so we were just on fire for a few years. It was just like, it was great. It was a really fun time to be working at the company. And at the time they were building Salesforce Tower in downtown San Francisco.
Oh yeah. And you guys built it at a little bit of an angle, right?
No, not Salesforce Tower. Salesforce Tower. What do you mean?
Well, there was allegedly the tower had like some structural issues with the foundation, right?
That's
with
the
like
Millennium. That's the Millennium Tower.
Amperes or whatever. Okay,
So
that in San Francisco though, right?
The Millennium Tower is literally 100 yards from that other. From
Okay,
the building.
am I kind of close to?
No, oh no, that building has serious problems.
But it's a new build, right?
It was brand new.
Yeah,
it was brand new, like in 2015 or 2016.
I'm glad you set the record straight.
Yeah.
That is not your
So
build. That was not your construction company.
Well, this is interesting. So we can go into that. So that building was built in like 2015 or 2016, the one you're talking about, the Millennium Tower. It had serious foundation issues, which there's like a massive lawsuit that was going on, and then there was just like this disgusting fix that they had to make. And I say disgusting meaning like, oh my God, it would make you want to throw up how much work it would be to fix this, right? And how much it would cost. And it was just unreal. Anyway, so that building's across the street. The company I was working for was building Salesforce Tower, which is the tallest building on the West Coast.
Gorgeous building. Yeah,
it's a cool looking building. Yeah. And so I got to go and tour the facility. And like at the time, I think we were like, I don't know, 60 floors up.
Yeah.
Right. And super, super fun to go check that out. And we're standing on the top of this building and I'm looking down and I'm looking at construction everywhere. Right. And it's like, I was like, this is crazy, man. Like, what is going on? Like what is happening? Like, why are all these buildings being built in downtown? And there's skyscrapers everywhere being built. And what I was studying at the time and realizing at the time was, oh, Uber is worth nothing. Facebook is worth nothing. And what do you mean they're worth nothing? Well, like they don't own anything. None of their products are real. They can dry up tomorrow. The technology changes tomorrow and they're done. You see what I'm saying? And so like what these companies started to realize was we need to diversify our product, but we also need to buy some real estate so that if the software dissolves and they're worth nothing, basically because everybody stops using their product, at least they have $100 million building.
Yeah.
Right. And another $100 million building and another 100 million. Right. And so what you were seeing was Facebook, Google, Apple, Salesforce, right? Buying real estate.
Mega campuses.
And building real estate or just offices.
Yeah.
And what was interesting is some of those companies decided to lease those office spaces and some of them decided to own them and buy them. But my point is there's some companies that like, if you own the software, that's great.
Yeah.
Only if the software is valuable, right? Like think about where Google sits today, right? Now I'm not saying Google as the whole business. I'm saying Google as a search engine. Google as a search engine is dead. Right? Like
their advertising revenue, I think, is largely because of the amount of eyeballs that come to Google for search traffic. And I could totally see that.
Well, what I mean by that is like Google as a search engine is probably not dead today.
Yeah.
But like ChatGPT is way better than Google.
Oh yeah. And ChatGPT
so like,
is doing a lot of commerce.
So eventually Google
too.
as a search engine is dead.
Yeah.
Now they've adapted. They're a very diversified business.
Sure.
Or a big company. But my point is like, you don't want to own software and your company, like, then people stop using it. You're like, well, what are we going to do now?
No, it's a great point. That's why I am so excited to own my own real estate for my pickleball business. I mean, that's kind of been my goal from the beginning, was use this not because it's the only part of the business, but to basically use my business to pay for real estate. And that's a huge downside protection, to your point.
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Because at the end of the day, you'll still always have the real estate, and you can sell that, and it's worth something.
Totally, it's a liquid market. I mean, there's comps for what small bay industrial trades for in the United States. It's 96.5% occupied, actually, nationally.
Not a bad occupancy rate.
It's the lowest vacancy rate of any industrial product. Small bay now is a pretty big building. I mean, it's considered small bay if it's under 100,000 square foot. Our new home is going to be 22,000 square feet of insulated clear span building. But the yeah, I mean, you can see what they traded for. Comps in Bozeman for what 7,000 plus square foot industrial buildings leased for or sold for made me a lot more comfortable with this major investment that I'm making. Big risk. But yeah, I mean, that's based off of a lot of like quantitative rigor that I use to get to that point. I'm not just shooting from the hip. And I think a lot of these ZERP area buyers, zero interest rate phenomenon or whatever over the last 6-7 years, shooting from the hip on buying stuff. So I'm expecting a crash in Bozeman. It'll be a good time to buy some stuff. So before we pivot away from this, though, we can obviously stay on it too. But what do we think about JP Morgan? So JP Morgan just returned to office. Everybody has to be in the office 5 days a week. They just finished a mega campus. And I have a buddy who's a VP at JP Morgan. Badass dude. He's the chief of staff for one of the leaders of one of their largest business units. Flies around on a private jet like 5 days a week all over the world, visiting clients with like the head of one of JP Morgan's business units. These guys are now in the office every single day. JP Morgan's finishing up this mega campus. I just read that they've got a super nice gym, and they just announced that they're making the employees pay for gym memberships in the building that they're just finishing up. What do we think about being required to pay for your gym membership at the building?
I'll even say just the going back to work. I think so. They all have to be in office.
100% return to office. And Jamie Dimon's like, the CEO of JP Morgan is like
adamant about it.
You cannot be effective if you're not in the office every day.
So we were having this conversation with Kyle's brother, because Kyle's brother's been with the same company for 15 years. And I like this, the person, me, as a person who loves to sit down and have these conversations in person. We've done every one of these podcasts in person except for one, which was a more than reasonable exception. I wanna think everyone should need to be in person all the time, but I'm against my will to want to believe this and realizing that the world's different. And I think a mix would be okay, because I do think the culture and being in person is great, but I don't think 5 days a week. I think that's it's
important for relationship building for sure. And to start a relationship, or if you start out as an early hire, like I worked on the sales floor at Oracle as a junior hire, as a business development rep, literally got a headset on, cold calling people, setting meetings. It was like a pit. You cannot be effective in that type of role coming right out. I had a little bit of work experience, but a lot of people are coming right out of college.
Yeah.
I don't think you can be effective. I don't think you can learn the ropes working from home.
Yeah.
Like you have to go in and listen to the conversations.
Yeah. You got to shadow. We had all kinds of meetings in the office where you'd go, your team would go off to a conference room. Then you're going to get lunch, or the best in Chicago was, and this place closed. I do not know why this isn't more of a thing, but there's this barbecue place called Blackwood Barbecue that did breakfast bowls, barbecue brisket breakfast bowls. Out of this world. Go in there with your coworkers.
There's plenty of barbecue places here. You should go pitch that idea.
Dude, scrambled eggs and brisket in the morning with a scoop of gravy on that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But that with your coworkers in person, you're not having that sort of camaraderie over a Zoom call.
Yeah. See, so I would say so make it 3 days a week, and then maybe for new hires, make it a tier.
Totally. That's what I was getting. I guess that's what I was getting at. I lost my train of thought, but after doing that for a couple of years, then once I was more effective and started to move up through the ranks, get promoted, then I was like, okay, I actually don't need to be in the office every day. I know everybody that I'm working with. Yeah. I can chat them, and it can be collaborative even if we are not in person, because I already have this in-person relationship.
Yeah, and then you might be able to, the argument I was trying to make with Cole was the quality of life could be so much better, because if you can spend this much more time with your kids and this much more time outside the office, can you be that much more effective? And it's all going to be subjective to people,
Yeah.
Because people are going to do what they do kind of regardless of if they have to go to an office every day or not.
Yeah.
But like, to be fair, in JP Morgan's defense, like, people are definitely going to be more effective when they have to go there. Like,
I'd guess they make more profit with people in office than they would without.
And
I think the right amount is different for everybody. It's probably different for different business sectors too. I don't know. Maybe it's 3 or 4 days a week in the office, and one and a half or two not in the office is maybe generally a good rule of thumb, because I think that affords people flexibility, and I think people have become accustomed to that flexibility. They want that flexibility, and I think in some ways, like, I think it's healthier to have that flexibility, right? To like, hey, like, I'm gonna get out of here early. I got to go run an errand real quick, and then I'm gonna go pick up my kids. And before it was like, well, you can't go run that errand. You barely can go pick up your kids, right? And so like, that's not cool, right? And so like, what does it matter if you leave an hour earlier?
Especially if you take the train or commute into the office, you're not able to pick up your kids on ad hoc from daycare or run to go do an errand or something like that. If you live in a major metro area, there's a lot of people who are stretching to make it work living in Manhattan who are living in Connecticut, an hour and a half away. People do crave, not to be contrarian, but people do crave IRL, like in-person connection. It's actually surprisingly the thing that people most highly value about pickleball.
Yeah.
It's really not so much about the pickleball, about the competitiveness, as it is the social connections in the community. And I recently just, did you guys go to the Montana Festival?
I went for a day.
I was there. Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Do you know were you at the session where the guy came in, Richard Florida? He was in the ballroom of
the Airbnb guy.
No. That was the chief business officer. It was in the ballroom.
Mountain Mule Transportation was proud to provide transportation service for him too.
Really?
From the airport. Yeah.
For Dick Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's actually a hero of mine. Believe it or not.
Very cool.
I actually studied him when I was in grad school.
Okay.
Read his work. When I saw that Patton was bringing him to Bozeman, I was blown away. Bought a ticket on the spot. I would have bought a ticket for Montana Festival regardless, because I went last year and it far exceeded my expectations. Highly recommend it to anybody. But
I'm right there with you too. Though.
So you had a good experience.
Yeah.
So cool. So what Richard Florida, though, as you heard, was talking about was, so when his research that I studied actually was about like the concept of people and place. Like, it's all about, why do certain places grow over time? It's about the people that are there, right? It's about, if you get certain people that have certain values and they're, interesting and smart, and he called it the tech tolerant and talent framework. If they're college educated, if they're tolerant, basically, which is, how accepting is the environment of LGBTQ diversity, basically. And if they're technology, if there's a lot of companies there, if there's a lot of patents that are being filed in that state, that is what makes a New York City become New York City over time, or a Detroit decline over time if it's losing those characteristics, or Denver blow up out of the desert, or basically what he said at the session is, or Bozeman, blow up. But he said at the session, the thing that blew me away was the research that he did all those years ago. He said if he could, he would just take it all back. And he would say, it's not so much about the tech talent and the tolerance. It's not about the people and the place. It's about the people and connecting. It's really about connection. And it's not rocket science. Like, we know for a fact that connecting with people is the thing that's magic.
Yeah.
But that's actually really challenging in a place like Bozeman. Because you go to the co-op, or you go to the grocery store, or you're at Bridger on the lift or whatever, and you know that there's all these cool people that live here that are entrepreneurs, just like you guys, that are doing cool things, that have interesting things going on in their life, and you want to meet them, but you just don't. You don't, you've only got like 6 minutes on PK or whatever. If you're going up Slushman's, you're getting pumped on the ridge. You might have your headphones in. You're not really having a deep conversation, but at least for me, I crave that sort of like, like deeper level connection with people. And that you live here because those people are there, but you just don't, living in a small town, you'd think that you'd meet them. So you need kind of more time with people to get that. And there's not a lot of activities where you're just going to organically mix with people and you're going to make those connections. But pickleball is one of those activities. And that's why we just hit 10,000 player visits at my business since we opened, which is kind of a mind blowing number just in the first under a year. The feedback that I'm getting from people is like the social connections that they make at Bozeman Classic Pickleball Club is really their favorite part. And so in the new facility, I don't even really care about the pickleball, although that is obviously what people are coming for. I'm really leaning in. Like I've tasked my architects and interior designers to reimagine the social interaction in the space.
We got to connect you with Tyler.
Oh, I'd love to. Tyler
Boatson. He's him, and I forget his partner's name.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Matt.
I'd be guessing if I said yes.
I need all the help I can get. So open to any. Please make any introductions.
Tyler and his business partner are opening a bathhouse in Bozeman.
They're doing the bathhouse right next to the bike shop, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think I met
So we have
him
a bathhouse
very
and a
briefly.
restaurant.
Really?
Mhm.
Cool. Yeah, I do need to talk to those guys. I would
Yeah.
if you wouldn't
They're-
mind making an intro, I would
Sure.
absolutely, if they're open to it, love to connect with them.
Their whole thing is all about human
Yeah,
connection
like the community.
in the bathhouse.
You can get it in the sauna too.
Hmm.
You can absolutely get it in the sauna.
And then you can go out and play some pickleball
That's right.
or vice versa.
Yeah, they've put a lot of thought and time and money into it, but they've designed this whole place to cultivate community and connection.
That is the coolest thing I've
very
heard all day,
impressive, yeah.
to hear that there's other people doing this. Because let's be honest. We live here because it's beautiful and there's cool people and the mountains are great. But like also, if you wanted to be able to see beautiful mountains, there's a lot of places in Montana that you could do that.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of really cool things going on here that it's like worth paying a premium to live here for. And yet I see the people driving, but I'm not really getting, you don't really get to interact with as many people as you might think organically, unless you've already got a relationship.
So not long after I moved here, and I'm naturally very introverted. I grew up on a dairy farm. I was homeschooled, and probably wouldn't have had a friend if it wasn't for Kyle. Making friends with everyone.
Yeah, no, it's tough as an adult moving to a new place. It's really tough how that stuff happens.
So I'd always had this kind of itch and curiosity about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
Started training here. That's
badass.
It's my family now. I made so many friends, and it's like the exact same concept you're speaking of, because we're such close quarters together. We're wrestling, we're struggling together. And it's literally like family. I went to a wedding last summer. One of the guys at the gym was getting married. Him and his wife are both MMA fighters.
Badass.
There was 45 people from the gym at that wedding.
Do not cause any problems at that wedding.
Yeah. And Brian, we all call him Coach, either call him Dietz or Coach. He got up and made a speech at the wedding because Ty Todd that was getting married asked him to. And he's he's a father figure, a role model to everyone. And I'm like, this is that connection. I've never felt more of a sense of community and
so
connection.
Cool to hear.
I don't even think I felt that where I grew up, because there's it's just is a brotherhood and a sisterhood for everyone. And I'm sure that people that do that pickleball feel the exact same way.
Yeah. And I think how we started this was coming back to the office.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, you can get some really close connections at work, and
for sure.
It's,
that's another great point.
Yeah. I mean, some of my best friends are from work. Right. And that project that's on the wall there, one of my best friends, him and I started working on that project together, and we almost died on that project many, 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 many times. And so we have a close connection. So I think, at work you can get awesome connections, and I do think that seeing people in person is different. It's way different. They can check on you in a different way that you can't get on a phone call, or a Zoom call. Hey, how are you really doing? How are things going really at home? You don't get that on a Zoom call, or it's harder to get on a Zoom call or a phone call. And so there's a ton of benefit, about going to
I think Jamie
work.
Dimon should hire us to help promote return to office to the JP Morgan
I
employees.
mean, yeah, I pay, if he wants to pay me like $5,000 an hour, sure, no problem.
We're doing a good job of like advocating for return to work here, I'm pretty sure.
Well, we've been having this discussion, and I
I
find
totally agree that I can 1,000,000%, especially on the check-in with people side.
Well, you can also like have like an amazing mentor from work that'll change your life.
Yeah.
Like, forever. And
Yeah.
so like, that's why you should return to work. Not like, that's why you should go to the office. Cause you can't, well, not that you can't. It's probably, I'm sure you could. I think the likelihood of establishing those lifelong, life-changing relationships are more likely in person.
Well, I'll tell you something that was is really ironic because it's gonna speak to what he's saying, is something that like Alex Hormozy will really say is proximity. Like if you can get around people, like what you can learn from a mentor. And I was gonna say that's something that Tony Robbins will say. Like you got to immerse yourself, you got to get around people. Like that's how you'll change your life, you'll learn, you'll grow.
You also can get really bad habits too, right? Like
yeah, sure.
You can also be
if you're hanging around the wrong people,
right. So if you're going to
the
a
wrong
workplace,
mentor.
if you're going to a workplace that has a bunch of people that you don't want to be around,
yeah,
and that also is like hard to notice, right? Sometimes where you're like, if they're your boss and they're the leader of the company, and you're like, wait, does this person emulate who I want to be? Are they the type of person that like I want to become? And sometimes the answer is no.
I'm not going to put words in your mouth for what Tony Robbins would say, but I would imagine that he would say, design your life. Like design, make sure that when you're picking the company you're going to work at, that you might not know that everybody that's there, but the people that are there, you'd hope that the caliber is high enough where you can feel pretty good that it's going to be a mentor that gives you good, you don't even have to worry about it being somebody giving you bad advice.
And to finish my point on Tony Robbins, so ironically, I went to a Tony Robbins seminar because one of my clients from she's got a place in the Yellowstone Club. She gave me and my fiance Tony Robbins tickets.
What a cool gift! And
like because we cultivated a relationship and a connection just as me being her driver for so many years, and like the irony is that like we're talking about connection and the people you're around. As I was around this woman and we made a connection, she's a very successful business owner, and she's always encouraging, I do this. Have you heard of this guy? Have you done this? And like the irony is like you go to Tony Robbins and he's like, it's about connection. It's about who you're around. And like, because of the connection that we made, like we ended up at Tony Robbins. So, I mean, it kind of brings home the whole point of, the connection.
How was going to see Tony Robbins?
It was a trip. It was wild. It was like
Pitbull was there, dude.
Yeah, Pitbull was there.
Mr. Worldwide. Yeah,
come on, you know that.
Like basically a cult. You're like this, but like you start to understand how cults could really work. But then you're like, oh, like their motto that they push and their ethos is we're a force for good. Like really pretty well intentioned. You're also like you're getting in an environment that's very conducive to buying stuff, and they are trying to sell stuff. So it's good to be aware of that. So like
Tony Robbins is selling you. There's some things you could buy from Tony besides what you've already purchased.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That you just like
you can buy your next thing for $10,000.
Yeah, you like the investment you made to go there was very minimal compared to what you could buy.
That is rich.
And it's like,
of course,
it's his business model. So like hats off to him if there's a need, and it's like fortunately I was there.
Have you ever made bad decisions on drugs or chemicals?
No, never.
Right. So I think people are on like a crazy high, right? Like they're on an emotional high.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck yeah, I'm tripling, quadrupling down. It's game 7. Here's $25,000.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And like Tony Robbins is like doing that, but with words and hypnosis. He's not putting you on drugs.
Yeah. Wow. You are very much like, we walked across the coals barefoot. Like,
no, you did not. You walked across coals barefoot at Tony Robbins.
I didn't know this either. Tell them about it. Tell them about like this is people get so hyped up.
Yeah, like 10,000 people did it while we were there.
Oh my goodness! I'm texting a person who's having trouble getting into the pickleball club right now while we're talking. But I'm still focusing.
All good.
We've got an event started 10 minutes ago, and we've got free.
The doors
pizza.
are locked and no one can get in.
The doors are actually always locked, but there's a code. everybody automatically gets a code when they register for the event. And so some people don't notice it. But so you and 10,000 other folks walked across the coals?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. And like I have like little burn marks on my feet, but these were like legit coals.
That is unbelievable.
And I like, it was fortunate that I was there with my fiance because you like, you know, you need to like keep a level head too, because you really do the environment is so conducive and you are essentially intoxicated on, you know.
Next thing you know, you're walking across coals barefoot.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my, like I had the weirdest moment there. I'm like,
what was that like though?
Well, like that, like in that particular moment, I was like, oh my God, like the Holocaust and everything. Like you can realize how in a massive, like how like a mob mentality is formed. And we like, the intention there was, you know, improve your life, improve your business, improve
It could go the other way.
but you could see how that could take you anyway. Cause I'm like, fuck, I'm going to walk across this fire right now. And like, I didn't even know we were going to do this when we came here this morning. And like 14 hours later, here I am, you know, relatively harmless, but still like that's an example of the way 10,000 people, you get the right music, you get the right lights. And like,
But weren't you guys staying up till
Wow.
like 1, 2 in the morning?
it was like a 16-hour day and we had no idea.
It started in the afternoon. They went until like 2 in the morning.
It started at 10 and it went to about 2.
That is
So you'd be like,
inspiring.
yeah, it's like, and like that's as they say, you know, a force for good. So it's pretty harmless, but it's you like, it just helps you understand human nature even more. And you're like, yep, I could see how this could go the wrong way. And
as a salesman, I'm taking notes over here. I'm just like, okay, like,
yeah, very interesting.
everybody's buying a membership.
Yeah. It was
Crazy though. That is really interesting to hear.
You just need coals at the pickleball course now.
No, we're actually doing an event in 2 weeks with Zephyr Cycling. We're doing a Pilates Zephyr mashup, and I've been doing like humble brag about how much giving we've been doing. Actually, I've been giving court time, making donations wherever I can. And I mean, we're a small business, so it's not, we don't have a lot to give, but I do have pickleball courts and I love helping however I can. So we've hosted events for Bridger Ski Foundation, various baseball fundraisers, charities, and I'm looking for more opportunities to give back. I really do want to try to spread the word about the good that we're doing at our facility. There's veterans and folks. We just rolled out a hero membership, I think I might have mentioned, but first responders, firefighters, teachers, nurses, police officers, veterans, they all get a major discount at our facility because I know how much they're leaving on the line every day. This is the way I can give back right now. I want to do more of it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Right now we're doing some trips for Warriors and Quiet Waters.
That's awesome.
Because they're doing a golf outing this weekend. And I'm right there with you. It's very cool when you have that chance. Because like, yeah, same thing. I don't have all kinds of money to just throw at things, but it's very cool when.
But you do have buses and you got drivers, and like you can schedule a driver like that, and you're bearing the cost for it. But
yeah,
that's really cool to hear.
Yeah, and the guy that was doing the trips today and yesterday is a vet, so it's very cool to like let him go be a part of giving back to vets, because all the vets from Warriors and Quiet Waters are like post 9/11 combat vets.
Wow,
and he's an older generation of vets, but it's very cool to like be a part of that.
Crazy,
yeah,
crazy to think about all those guys coming back here. We don't have to get into that, but I would love to, if you're open to it, to pivot back to specifically what you said around now you're doing data centers.
Mm-hmm.
Are you working at all on that big data center that just did a power offtake agreement to take down like the full amount of residential power in the state of Montana that Northwestern's providing to customers right now? But they've now signed a contract to be able to get that much power specifically for this new data center that's being built.
I don't even know about it.
Major data centers coming to Montana.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've heard a couple of. So it's hard to keep track of all the stuff that's going on with data centers. I don't know about it. And I would say that one of the things that is prevalent right now that might even not be the right word. Something that's occurring all the time right now is fake announcements for data centers. I would say 50%.
Really?
It is rampant.
It's just posturing.
Yeah. And so I don't know, man. It seems like
no way.
I don't know, 35%, maybe 50% of the announcements for data centers are like fake, you know? And so like the other thing is I would say is that like, don't take it with a grain of salt of like what you hear in the news,
Yeah.
because like, I can tell you right now, like one that I'm working on right now that is like going to happen, the public doesn't know about at all.
No press about it.
Zero, none. Right. And if you're smart about it, that's the way you want to go.
Yeah, of course. That's
Because,
how I
like,
like to
why-
operate too.
You know, it's like, what is the benefit of announcing it?
Yeah, you've done all this hard work to come up with a business plan. There's not a good reason really to put all your hard work out there until it's manifested, and
Until
once
it's
it's
for
built,
sure.
they're going to see it, of course.
Right. So anyway, I think there's been a lot of stories about, but I don't know the one that you're specifically talking about. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's fake. I don't know if it's legit.
Well, I'm not surprised. I know there's a lot of data center activity out there, and I'm not surprised to hear that some of these announcements are not real. I think it's super cool that you're getting into that industry, though, given your background in building big industrial buildings.
Mhm.
So what do you think about like data centers specifically in Montana? Do you have a take on, is this a good place for data centers specifically?
That's that. So I don't even know if I'm qualified to answer that question. Actually, I know that I'm not qualified to answer that question. What I mean by that is like the technology matters. And so some data centers need to be in a cluster, like they need to be close to other data centers for them to work effectively.
I think they call it co-location, if I'm not mistaken.
So co-location would be like there'll be multiple users in one data center, right? So like, or could be multiple clients in one data center. That would be like co-location. But there'll be like a cluster of data centers would be like, let's say there's 10 or 15 of them, like within a relatively small area.
Yeah.
And they are working together, if you will. They're connected. And then there's, then there are data centers they don't need to be in a cluster. They can be way out in the middle of nowhere. But you don't really normally want necessarily from like a real estate and ownership standpoint, like you don't necessarily want a data center way out in the middle of nowhere. Cause like who's going to work there? Who's going to maintain it? Like, how are you going to build it? Right. And like, so those are some of the challenges that like Montana has with data centers is that like, they are from a construction standpoint, they're extremely labor intensive. Like extremely labor intensive. Like they take 3 times the amount of labor to build a data center than they would like a normal warehouse of the same size and type.
Do you happen to know what a buyer is paying per square foot, like on average, like a retail buyer that's buying a data center, like compared to an industrial building? I'd imagine it's much more expensive to buy just a raw data center building, not even with the servers and computers and stuff in it, than it would be based off of what you're saying. If it's 3 times as much to build it.
Yeah, I mean, they're. I don't know what they. I should know, and I can look this up for the project that I'm working on.
Yeah, just curious.
I don't know. But yeah, the expenses are really high. So like as far as like building those in Montana, like on one hand, they're a great fit. They're a great fit because we have a small population, and once the building is built, they don't take a lot of people to run them, right? So like a data center has like 50 employees, and that's like a big data center would be 50 employees. So that's good. That's good from it's like it doesn't like suck up a bunch of the labor, which we already have a super tight labor market in Montana. So it's kind of like, well, like what are we talking about here, right? Like, is it to build it? I think Montana would be one of the worst states to build a data center in, for to actually build it, because
construction's expensive here.
Construction's expensive. We don't have a lot of we already don't have enough construction workers.
Yeah.
Right. So that is like be one of the most difficult builds. It would be much easier to build a data center like in a larger metro or outside of a metropolitan area. So that's one piece. And then just like from a I guess weather standpoint, Montana would be would be a good place to build data centers. Data centers run hot.
Yeah.
There's electrical equipment, they get hot, right? And so
Oh, interesting. The snow would keep it cold.
Montana's a cool place most of the year, and so it would just stay cool, right? Where, if you build one in the desert, you're constantly trying to cool the building, which the building's generating a bunch of heat. So there's a lot of trade-offs. I think there's some data centers that take an extreme amount of water. Some data centers don't take a lot of water. So it depends on what you're going to build.
Yeah, if you've got the closed circuit cooling systems, or if you've got like a hydroelectric type of I think one of the Google centers that they built on, what is it, the Columbia River, just north of the Dalles. It's located so close to the river because they're piping in the water from the Columbia River, I think, for the cooling system, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and they're probably getting their electricity from the river too.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so they're probably getting their electricity from the river. So.
Crazy.
A lot of tons of nuances, and I'm still learning a ton. I've only been in this business now for 6 months, so I'm a rookie in the data center business. It's a wild place to be. I can tell you that much. It is the wild, wild west.
I bet.
It is crazy.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah,
I'm excited for an update, hopefully in a couple months.
Yeah, me too. In a couple months, things should be a little bit different.
Yeah, let's get coffee or something if you're up for it.
That sounds good.
Coffee's on me.
Yeah. There's a guy in town that is in the data center business as well. That there's a business called CoreWeave. You've heard of CoreWeave?
Oh yeah,
yeah. So
founded right here in Bozeman in the basement, if I'm not mistaken.
Another client of Mountain Mule Transportation.
Nice.
We're proud to provide safe luxury
was that actually
transportation.
founded here in Bozeman, or was just the founder lives here?
I think
in his basement.
The founder lives here, but if I'm not mistaken, he also was building the company from Bozeman.
Oh wow! I didn't realize that. I thought like maybe he founded the company years ago and then moved to Bozeman.
I don't have the full story, but I'm really excited about that. I mean, that was the biggest IPO last year, if I'm not mistaken.
It was like 5 months ago.
Oh, this year?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. There's another person that I play hockey with who's in the data center business. Happy to introduce you.
That'd be great.
If you're interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check with her and see if she's up for it.
Cool.
Yeah, like years ago, she still is occasionally because he's the CEO. His mother is a client of ours.
Okay.
She's like, yeah, my son's like, they work from home. He's got some like business he's doing or something. And the next thing you know, it's this, massive public company.
He dialed into the Montana Festival.
Yeah.
He came in on video because he was stuck in a meeting somewhere, I think, in Chicago.
There was a tornado in Chicago. So the flight didn't leave that was supposed to come here.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's an unbelievable thing. I mean, that's the best part about living here is there's these, I'm sure there's a lot of places where there's all these amazing businesses and entrepreneurs and stuff, but it just feels like there's something special about this place with the entrepreneurship and just the caliber of people that live here. Like,
yeah, if you get connected with Tyler too, because Tyler's always talking about all the heavy hitters here.
Okay.
And he's like very connected with a bunch of them. So.
Yeah, he knows some of the big dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always like surprised because he's he comes from the
Tyler was in private equity for a while.
Oh, okay, he was an investor.
I don't know like what his like title was. I think what he would do is like, they would go. He worked on a team of people that would go and like want to go buy a business.
Yeah,
Tyler would be on the team that would like go like vet that the business is like truly viable, right? And then he worked to once they did buy it, he would transition the ownership into the new ownership, like the existing ownership into the new ownership, and kind of blend people together.
Okay, like the integration work.
Yeah, because it was like, hey, like, like let's just say they were buying like a blue collar business.
Sure.
But then the people who were buying it are like white collar guys that know nothing about blue collar anything. And so like they wouldn't, the way he explained it is like they wouldn't understand each other and they wouldn't gel. And so he like would like it was like a personal touch. It was like, hey, like we're going to figure out how to like blend to get our teams together here so that this is a successful partnership.
Didn't we start this conversation talking about communication?
Yeah.
We'll send you the episode that he did with us.
Oh, I would love to hear
the
that
podcast, but he like It's only the kind of skills you would acquire working on crab boats in Alaska for 10 years would get you to that position in private
Crazy.
equity.
Yeah.
It's like very, very intelligent guy and like just a kind of a crazy background. And cool story.
Crazy. Oh, I feel lucky to be in such cool company as a podcast guest.
Yeah, you'll enjoy that one. I don't plug many of our long podcasts because we're all just usually rambling and shooting the ship. But like that was, I mean, honestly, they're all like,
hey, this one's been tight. We've been just point to point, very.
And you managed to indirectly like trick it into us not finding out more about you and where you grew up and who you are as a person.
Hardly.
Yeah.
We covered a lot of personal.
Can you tell us
Yeah.
your deepest, darkest secrets?
We indirectly did. Like we didn't directly ask you questions about
big Lil Wayne fan.
But like I think
hell yeah.
you're from North Carolina. You're a baseball fan. Like basically, we would just have said, "Hey man, where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Yeah.
What were you into?" So
what's your favorite Lil Wayne song?
Oh man, so many.
The block is hot. The block is
hot.
hot.
That one's good. Lately, I've been because I'm running the Chicago Marathon in a couple weeks.
Cool.
I've been listening to a lot of like really hard stuff with Jeezy. So probably Ballin'.
Okay.
With Jeezy. But there's one that I just heard for the first time, believe it or not.
There's one on one of my workout playlists because I only know like 3 Lil Wayne songs. Because I did grow up listening to country music.
me and my drink. It's not even Lil Wayne's not even listed on it by Dat Boy T.
Dat Boy T. Hell yeah.
Let me tell you, Lil Wayne though.
What's it called? Dat Boy T, and it's called
Me and My Drink.
Me and My Drink.
How about Sorry for the Wait?
Oh, that is mixtape if I'm not mistaken, and that's the main song on it. Cushion the Swisher.
I don't know, but I don't. Like I said, I know about 3 Lil Wayne songs, but that's one of them, and it's on my workout playlist.
Oh my god, that song is just top notch. We're actually going to do a Lil Wayne night at the pickleball club. I would love to have you guys as guests.
Oh, I would love to come out for a Lil Wayne night.
I would love to have you guys as guests. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be Tall T's recommended. So were you guys up the Tall T era, Big Sky?
No.
Okay, so when I was growing up skiing and snowboarding, it's all about Tall T's, and so long story short,
every T is a tall T on me. I'm 5'7".
That's okay. We could definitely find you a actual like triple XL.
Okay.
And then the move is always you'd layer them too, so you can get like 2 tall T's or 3 tall. We'll find some pictures of. We'll get some good pictures on at Lil Wayne night. Anyway, I've got a great playlist put together. All my favorites already that I've been working on.
So to like, do you have to come with a tall T?
No. It's just tall T's recommended, but it's really just, again, it's about networking, social media. We're doing a Taylor Swift night coming up. Like we're doing all kinds of fun stuff like this. It's literally just getting people out of their, I mean, life, seriously, as you guys obviously know, it's an exercise in the universe just trying to get you to like slow down and just like settle into your chair and just kind of like chill, like settle. Kind of like develop stasis. Get to a point where you're just kind of settled down. And yet everything that's worth doing in life is really an exercise in fighting against that natural tendency, and you're just pushing back and you're trying to develop this energy to break free from this like natural pull to just like the average, just like, why don't you just chill out and just like not be so intense on whatever it is. And so
it's really interesting.
It's really anything that's great, that's worth doing, in my opinion, is hard, and hard things create awesome outcomes. And so there's so many things in life where it's like, just break out of your shell just a little bit, and something great's going to come of it. And that's what we try to do. Pickleball is the great medium to do that because it's so approachable. Just about anybody can walk in and have a good time. I just feel so lucky to be in this business.
I need a 5-day heads up for
Lil Wayne night.
Okay. And I'm going to order a couple of tall teas on Amazon.
Amazing.
So that they're here on time, and I'll be fucking ready.
He's just
to
going to order a men's medium and
tall tea. Hey, whatever size.
I'll just go pick up a schmedium.
I'll borrow one as well. So
whatever size. No, you guys are in for a treat, and I'm open to recommendations for.
We're going XXXL.
Sorry for the wait. That's what I got.
Yeah. Okay. That's done.
Okay.
I think he just put a bunch of his mixtapes that were formerly not available for streaming on now streaming services too.
Nice.
So Anyway, that's me in a nutshell.
You just reminded me. You just reminded me of a YouTube philosopher. Don't know his name because there's a lot of them these
You
days.
talking about the guy who put the beans in the computer?
I don't know. But when you were saying,
I'm sure that's not it. But if you're not on that YouTube video yet,
I'm not. But I need to make a note.
Oh my God, you're in for a treat.
So this guy was saying when you were just talking about slowing down, finding stasis.
Yeah.
He said that he used the analogy of when you have to go to the bathroom, it's not having to go to the bathroom that's giving you pain, but the resistance of going to the bathroom. And the analogy was all these emotions you have aren't painful, but it's the resistance to them. And you just made me think of that. Like, yeah, it's our resistance to just like,
Yeah, it's discomfort.
To just-
discomfort. And did you run the rut?
I've run it a couple of times. I haven't done the 50K, but I've run multiple events.
Well, you're nuts, first off, but that's badass. And, I'm sure you trained for it. You've probably done a lot of miles on trails. You never want to go running, right? Even if you're a great runner. Some days you do. Some days, I'll be honest. Some days I definitely look forward to running.
Yeah, but I would say 50% of the time I have to talk myself into it. The other 50% I really enjoy it.
Yeah. And the way that I justify it to myself is like, I'm going to go. And after 5 minutes, if I'm not having a good time, I'll turn around. If I'm not having a good time, like, it's my day. I'm going to do whatever I need to do. I go get a pump in someplace else. I'll go play puck later, or I go play pickleball for 3 hours or whatever. Never once have I turned around.
Right.
So you just have to start, that discomfort though, getting through that initial discomfort is where all great growth happens in life
yeah, it's badass.
with so many different things.
And you play hockey here in town too?
I do. Yeah. We're looking down the barrel of another great season. Found chemistry finally with a great team. I've played it basically in every level of league. I moved to Bozeman. I joined a team with my buddy, played in the lowest level. I think I played A League the next year. I played hockey my whole life, so I can kind of fit in wherever. But I mean,
do you play with like a massive guy who's like 6'5"?
There
Kale is his name.
No, there's a guy named Andy on my team who's
Okay.
a big boy.
Yeah.
He's probably.
I just know he plays hockey here in town, but I don't know who or
I
whatever.
probably played against him.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever played on his team, but yeah, there's some monsters.
Yeah, and he was a semi-pro baseball player at one point in his life.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
Is he nasty?
he was a nasty baseball player, so I'd imagine
He's probably an
his
athlete.
hockey's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skills are pretty transferable. Like
Yeah.
I played with guys that are pretty athletic that play, for example, basketball at a high level, never played hockey
Yeah.
before, and within a couple of years they're
Pretty
amazing.
good.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just cardio.
Yeah.
If you can work out for a long period of time, you can basically outskate your opponents.
Mhm.
And if you've got at least some hand-eye coordination, you don't drink too many beers, you're going to be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
awesome
we're
getting
going to have
know
to
you.
come on again and we'll actually figure out who you are.
I would love to. Yeah. No, I'm sorry that you guys didn't get everything you were hoping for out of it. I definitely have enjoyed talking to you guys as well, though.
Yeah. It's great. Thanks a lot.
No, in all seriousness, I know we didn't get too much into like my background professionally or the pickleball business at a super deep level, but you're kind of what you see is what you get. I mean, I moved to Bozeman because I think this place is amazing. I've made some really deliberate choices. My wife, and we haven't talked about my wife's business. She owns an interior design firm called Mountain Home Collective. She's got 8 full-time employees, offices in Bozeman and Whitefish. We're just big into designing our life, just like you guys, making deliberate decisions about the things that we want to do. And, I'm a big fan of thinking that good business strategy is choosing what to say no to. So that's my MO.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's like, not to drag this on forever, but that's like Hormozy's biggest thing is like saying no to like, you only get like $1 or $2 million like offers a year. And that's if you say no to, 200.
Yeah.
So like, very deliberately saying no and then yes when.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I've got a lot to learn about Hormozy and Tony Robbins too, but I would love to come back and do it again if you guys
That'd be
are
great.
open to it.